Key points: George. George is a capable man and a reliable worker. He cares deeply for Lenny, and it's arguable that he needs the relationship just as much as Lenny. He believes that without friends, a man becomes mean. However, George seems to have a desire for solitude. He often plays the card game solitaire when he's relaxing in the bunkhouse. George seems to have a dream of his own where he talks of being able to live more easily without Lenny, and this dream includes George having a girlfriend. But George only ever talks about this dream when he's angry, whereas he's more relaxed when he describes the dream that he shares with Lenny. George and Lenny's dream is their version of the American dream. That is, every man can achieve his goal and live off the land, his own land, if only he works hard enough. Initially, George doesn't really believe this dream will come true. He just uses it as a story to pacify Lenny. But when Candy becomes involved, even George thinks it's viable. George has a short temper and often becomes exasperated with Lenny's maladaptive behaviour. George always feels guilty after he's snapped at Lenny. He tries to keep Lenny happy by talking about their dream farm and by getting Slim to give Lenny a puppy. George plans for the future. He suspects that Lenny will do something stupid at some point, so he makes contingency plans by telling Lenny to come back to the spot by the river in the event of a problem. George feels humiliated during the ketchup incident because he feels he's failed in his responsibility towards Lenny by not being able to provide even a small treat like tomato sauce. George is very worldly and very perceptive of potential danger. This is why he warns Lenny to stay well away from both Curly and his wife. We never see him deliberate over his decision to kill Lenny, and he seems to act decisively. George takes on the responsibility for killing his companion, maybe partly because he saw that it tore Candy apart not to have been there for his beloved pet at the moment of its death. George realises that Lenny's gone way beyond his control. A human life has been taken, and George must ensure that this never happens again. He shoots Lenny because he believes it's the right thing to do. His killing is merciful, whereas the alternatives would be distressing to Lenny. At best, he'd be put on trial and locked away. At worst, suffer a slow and agonising death at the hands of Curly. George makes sure that Lenny is looking out at a beautiful scene and thinking of their dream farm as he shoots him, so that Lenny's last moments are happy. At the end of the novel, George is in shock and Slim has to lead him away from the scene of the shooting.